I recently maxed every single game mode on the Hive, and I often get asked, what's the best strategies to max each game mode? So here are the strategies I used to max each Hive game mode. Now these first few tips apply to every single game mode, so it doesn't matter if you're playing Bedwars or Ground Wars or even Deathrun. These tips will still apply to them no matter what. So first of all, if you buy Hive Plus, this will immediately give you a permanent 50% XP boost at all times. Now you do have to pay for this, but if you're going to be playing the Hive a lot, it can be worth it. As well as Hive Plus, you can also buy XP boosters, which will temporarily give you an extra 50% XP boost. Now this does only last an hour, but you can unlock these for free by purchasing them with quest points. There is another small XP boost you can get, and that's through the daily login streak. If you log into Hive more than one day in a row, you'll get a small XP boost. Now this does stack with each day you play, so if you have a 1 day login streak, you'll get a 1% XP boost, but if your login streak is at 10 or more, it will grant you an extra 10% boost. Also, Hive will sometimes do a double XP limited time event. Now these rarely happen, so when they do, be sure to make the most of it. Now onto the different game modes, starting with Bedwars. Now the best way to max Bedwars is by doing your daily challenges. Every single day there's 3 new daily challenges for you to complete, and each daily challenge will give you 100 XP, and then they'll reset the following day. Meaning you could get 300 XP alone just by doing something like buying 3 sets of diamond armor every single day. As well as daily challenges, Bedwars also have seasonal challenges for you to complete. Each one of these will give you 500 XP upon completing them, but unlike daily challenges, these don't refresh every day, but they refresh at the start of each new Bedwars season, so make sure you complete these before the start of the next season. Now there is also a Bedwars ticket you can buy, and buying this will give you a bunch of extra challenges for you to complete, and these challenges do come with XP rewards, and so if you complete these, you will get 500 XP similar to the seasonal challenges. The only downside of this is you have to pay to unlock these challenges, but if you do have it, you can just use it to level up faster. You also do get XP from just playing the games. If you get a kill or break a bed or even win a game, you will get some extra XP. You do get 40 XP for getting a win, so if you can speedrun through games faster, you will be getting XP much quicker. But you do also get XP from breaking beds and final kills, so I would prioritize getting those too. Now you do get 2 XP just for getting a regular kill, but since it's such a small amount, I would not recommend focusing on getting normal kills. And that brings us to Skywars. Now Skywars has 2 different XP systems, one for duos, solos, and squads, and one for mega. Now the main differences between these game modes is you'll actually gain less XP per kill if you play Skywars Mega, but I would recommend playing Skywars Solo over any other team game mode, as you do get more XP per kill in this. The way XP works in Skywars is you'll get 12 XP for a regular kill, 10 in Mega, but if they are the last player alive on the team, you will get an extra 8 XP. And since Skywars Solo has no teams, every single player will grant you this final kill bonus. Now you do also get a small amount of XP for killing the kill leader too, so if you can kill the kill leader, I would recommend doing so. Now this method is actually really underrated, but you do get XP for getting the mystery chest. You get 15 XP in regular games, but only 10 in Mega. But if the mystery chest spawns or is close to spawning, you should just go get the free XP. I've gotten myself tons of XP by doing this like every single game. And of course, similarly to most game modes, you will also get a win bonus, so I would prioritize getting wins because that just is a free extra 50 XP per game there. Murder Mystery XP is a little bit more complicated than Skywars or Bedwars, so let's start off easy. You get 2 XP for each gold coin you pick up, and this does also change for the blue and purple coins, giving you 6 and 12 respectively, but you can only collect up to 50 coins per game before you reach the coin XP limit. Now, if you are Murderer, this cap is only at 20 coins instead of 50, but I would still try and recommend hitting this XP cap each game. If you are an Innocent or Sheriff, you will also get XP for killing the Murderer, so if you manage to get lucky enough to shoot the Murderer, you will get an extra 30 XP. So hitting your shots is pretty important. Also, as an Innocent or Sheriff, you do get 5 XP for every 30 seconds you survive. Now what's unique about this is that the XP doubles if you manage to survive for the full game, so if the game ends after about 60 seconds and you're still alive, you'll be given 20 XP instead of 10 for this. Now the best way by far to gain XP in Murder Mystery is by being the Murderer, which sucks because this is just total luck. As the Murderer, there's only 2 ways to gain XP, which is from collecting coins and getting kills. Now for each kill you get as the Murderer, you will get 15 XP, which goes a really long way when grinding this game mode, as you can get up to 225 XP per game without using any boosters or collecting any coins. Now Murder Mystery does have some maps that grant you more XP than others, so if you want to get XP a little quicker, I'd recommend voting for Castletown, as that's by far the best map to collect coins on, so if you're the Innocent, this map is great. Now there are some other alternatives like Office, Toy House, Iso Hotel, or even in the back rooms, which all do still give a good amount of XP, but Castletown's definitely the best. Also, if you have a high chance of getting Murderer, I'd recommend voting for either Office or back rooms, as they are some of the smallest maps, and so it's much easier to get more kills as the Murderer. Now, unlike the other game modes on this list, Just Build doesn't have much variety when it comes to gaining XP. There's only 2 ways to gain XP from Just Build, and it's by placing in the top 3 and XP from votes. Now, you get an extra 15 XP if you win the game, and 10 if you're second, and 5 if you're third, but the main way to gain XP is from votes. So if your build gets more votes, you'll in turn get more XP because of that. So if you play duos where there's double the players as there is in solo, you will get twice the XP from votes. So if you make better builds, you should level up quicker. I would also recommend not playing double build time Just Build, as those games last twice as long and grant you the same amount of XP, so sticking to the small 5-minute games is best. Now, Just Build is getting an overhaul to the XP system, so if anything changes, I'll be sure to leave it in a pinned comment down below. Now for Capture the Flag. The best way to gain XP and capture the flag is from flag captures, if you couldn't guess it by the name. If you capture the flag, you capture the flag. Get it? But you'll get 50 XP from doing that, so you can get up to 150 XP each game just from capturing the flag. You also do get 100 XP from getting a win, so the faster you win games, the faster you can level up. And if you do want faster wins, I would recommend playing in a party. Capture the Flag can tend to be a sweaty game mode, so if you have good teammates, you can win games faster and level up faster too. It does also help if they're willing to drop the flag for you, and you can get some extra free flag captures from that. Also, another way to get wins faster is to vote for smaller maps, because Capture the Flag games can last as long as 15 minutes, so if you can win within like 2 or 3 minutes, it'll speed things up a lot. Now, the best map I found to play on was Unearth, because it is by far the smallest, but there's also some other good options, such as Altara, Ashram, Campsite, Empire, Mall, and Valley. Now, you can also get XP from doing some other things like getting kills, assists, returning the flag, or getting a draw, so if you can naturally do these in your games, you can earn yourself a little bit more XP. Hide and Seek has one of the easiest methods of gaining XP, and that is hiding. Yep, you guessed it, it's right in the name. But the best way to gain XP in Hide and Seek is really just by hiding. You earn a good amount of XP from seeking, but it doesn't come anywhere close to the amount of XP you gain from hiding. First of all, if you win a game as a hider, you'll get an extra 200 XP, and a seeker you get 4 times less, only getting 50 XP for a win. Also, as a hider, you'll naturally get an extra 15 XP for every 60 seconds you survive. So if you survive the full game, you'll be given an extra 75 XP. Now, the biggest way to gain XP as a hider is from taunting. And most players misunderstand how the taunt XP system works, as some taunts give you more XP than others, but taunts give a variety of XP ranging from 3 to 18 XP. Now, if you want the most XP per game, I'd recommend using the 3 XP taunts, which isn't what most people do, but these actually refresh faster, so you can spam these quicker than the higher XP taunts, and you actually end up earning more XP from them because of that. Now, the best strategy for using taunts is to use the 3 XP taunts, but just before you're found, or just before the game ends, use the big 18 XP taunts just to maximize your total XP. If you do end up being a seeker, you actually get 20 XP for killing a hider, so you can still earn a decent amount of XP if you are seeking. But hiding is by far the best strategy still. You can also get some XP from killing the seeker as a hider, but because of how difficult this is and how long it takes, it's just better to hide and spam your taunts. Also, if you do want to hide for longer, I would recommend avoiding the small maps, but these can be good if you do want to play as a seeker. So some of the small maps are Kingston, Pripyat, Hospital, Talavera, Plasma, Town Square, and Gold Rush. Now, similarly to Hide and Seek, Deathrun XP is also relatively simple. As a runner, you'll get XP for hitting each checkpoint and for placing top 3. However, it actually doesn't matter if you get first, second, or third, as they all grant you 30 XP. However, some maps do have more checkpoints than others, so you'd think you'd get more XP for getting more checkpoints, but the XP is actually adjusted for most maps, meaning this isn't a huge issue, but some maps still grant more XP per checkpoint than others, so I would recommend voting for Temple, as that's by far the best map to vote for. However, Survival, Tokai, Gardens, and Synthwave all still give you a good amount of XP. But if you do happen to be set as a death, you can actually get some good XP from this, as getting a kill with a trap will get you 2 XP. However, the more kills you get with each trap boosts your XP amount significantly. So if you kill 8 people with a trap, instead of getting 16 XP as you'd expect, you actually get 32 XP, as it is a bonus for getting multiple kills with each trap. So the best strategy for this is to actually focus large groups of people, instead of just targeting the guy in the front. so you can get more kills at once. And some of the best maps to do this on are Survival and Synthwave. Now, out of all the game modes on this list, Gravity by far has the simplest XP methods of all. Firstly, you gain XP from placing first, second, and third, getting you 12, 8, and 5 XP. Now, you do also get an additional 10 XP for each map you complete. If you do so without dying, you get an extra 5 XP, meaning you can get 15 XP for each map you complete, or 75 XP per game. Now, Gravity does have maps that vary in difficulty, however, you don't actually get more or less XP for playing on easy or hard maps, so just vote for the easy maps, dude. You just play the easy maps and you're good. The best way to level up in Block Party is by simply winning. You get 10 XP just for getting a win, but you also get 2 XP each time a player is eliminated, meaning you can get up to 36 XP just for winning a game. You also do get 2 XP for each round you survive, meaning the longer you live, the more XP you'll just naturally get. The only other way to gain XP in Block Party is by collecting power-ups, so if you see a power-up, I'd recommend trying to grab it. And the best strategy I found for playing Block Party was to grab as many power-ups as you can, and using your leaps instead of teleporters at first, because the teleporters become much more useful after round 20, because of just how quick the rounds are. Now, survival games has 4 different ways of gaining XP. The main way you gain XP is from getting kills, so if you can consistently get high kill games, you level up much quicker. You also do get 15 XP for reaching deathmatch, so if you can reach deathmatch each game, you'll passively gain some extra XP. And of course, if you win, you gain 30 more XP on top of that. Oh, and if you see a cash cow, be sure to grab it, as it gives you a little bit more XP. Now, since the main ways to gain XP in this game is for reaching deathmatch, getting kills, and winning, you just want to have faster games. So I'd recommend voting for smaller maps like Blossom, Flurry, or SG4. Also, duos games tend to last less time than solos, so if you have a teammate, I'd recommend just playing duos with them. Now for the bridge. Now, bridge XP is very simple, just like the last couple of games. The main way you want to gain XP is from scoring goals, as getting kills grants you barely any XP, so if you want to score as many goals as possible, just use the leap kit, as you can just leap past the opponent and not even needing to fight in most cases, meaning you can just get goals much quicker. But if you do want even more XP, the best way to do that is by playing duos, as if you are playing duos, you'll get a bonus 5 XP for each goal you score, and if your teammate scores, you still get that bonus 5 XP, and as always, there's a little bit of bonus XP for each win you get. Now for Ground Wars, this has to be the worst game mode for leveling up, so get ready. Ground Wars has a horrible XP system. You get 1 XP for a kill and 10 for a win. That's it. The only 2 ways to gain XP. So the best way to gain XP is from getting as many wins as quickly as possible. So the best way to do this is by playing in a party, as having some teammates, especially some good ones, goes a long way in this game. Also, voting for the map Town is slightly better as it's the smallest map, meaning you can get wins slightly quicker. And this brings us to our final game, Block Drop. Winning a game of Block Drop will grant you 30 XP, but because you also get 5 XP for each player that's eliminated, this means you can get up to 85 XP just for a win. You do also get XP for breaking blocks, so for every 150 blocks you break, you get 10 XP, so if you do happen to have a speed power-up, this can actually be quite useful. And speaking of power-ups, if you do collect some power-ups, you will get an extra 10 XP too, so if you see any power-ups, go focus them. Now, Block Drop games can take a little while, so if you don't use the floor regenerating power-up, the games do tend to go a little bit quicker, meaning you can get more wins faster. And also, if you vote for Flowers, it's the smallest map, so it'll speed up the pace of the game a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter in the end which map you vote for.